I got a recording for you.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Well, the first thing is approval of July minutes. I realize we do have a quorum because we got 7 and we have 14 total, so we got half, so we're okay. The minutes are on the screen if you haven't read them already. Does anybody have any questions on any of the minutes? Hearing none, do I have a motion for approval?
Motion for approval of agenda.
All right, Dennis gave a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second by Landporter.
Second by Lance, okay. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, everybody said aye, so I don't even have to ask if there's anybody opposed. And the minutes have passed. Okay. Next thing we have are the financial report. Well, is the secretary reports. Okay. Jennifer, do you want to talk about these reports for everybody?
Sure. So what's in front of you right now is the corporate membership roster. And if you could just scroll down a little bit more for me, Jim. We'll break this down a little bit more on the next page in the graphs. We were talking about attendance. So we don't have an attendance history for this month. I had to meet with Jim yesterday to help me walk through some of these reports. I'm a work in progress, so we'll work on getting some better attendance numbers for the next board meeting. But right now we're sitting with 64 active members, 64 members. 31 of those are the active members, 14 corporate, 14 designees, and we don't have any associates. And the honorary bring us to 64 members. As you can see in the years of service, most of the Rotarians in that graph are people who have served 5 years or under. So not retaining a whole lot of people after about 5 years. The numbers drop pretty significantly, except for the few, I think a handful of 9 are the ones who are basically on this call, who serve on the board, who have been around for a long time. You can go ahead and scroll down. Oh, no, it's there. I'm sorry. And then we just broke it down for out of gender. And darn it, those boys are still beating the girls, 34-30. And then out of the 5 honorary members we do have, 4 of those are male, 1 female. And I believe that is the end. And like I said, I really want to get some attendance reports in there. So I will be working to see what I can print out, and then Jim can help me if I have any questions on it. But I think we need to start looking at the attendance as well, like Jim had touched base with at the beginning.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions for Jennifer on any of the reports? Okay. This is the financial reports are very small, as you can see. We only have one. I don't have a budget in yet because I haven't been able to sit down with Deb and Sandy and talk about a few things. I have concerns about dues because that's our biggest income, but it's also our biggest expense. There really isn't anything that's out of the ordinary here on the financial report. I know we didn't get this out. Well, I did get it out ahead of time in the agenda. Did anybody have any questions on the report? Okay, hearing none, do I have a motion for approval?
Motion to approve.
Second.
All right, so there's a motion for approval and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
And we'll go ahead and approve the financial reports. Included in the agenda was last year's summary. I just wanted it there so you could see it, so you can see how we did and figure out if we're going to be able to do the same this year. So, and that's just the last 6 months with the year to date. Okay, one of the things I asked or I did was I said to everybody who paid meal costs up front, because we had so many meals that we missed, that they had an opportunity to tell us what to do with that money. And as you can see from the report here, we had 2 people who said, go ahead and donate the meal costs of the Club Foundation, 1 to Polio Plus, 1 to the club, well, 3 to the Club Foundation, 1 to Polio Plus, and the rest who reported said keep the meal payments for club use for project and expenses. And then the rest of the people who did not respond, if you remember, the email said, if you don't get back to us by the 31st of August, we will keep the meal payments for club use and projects and expenses. So it looks like the majority of those funds are going to be kept for this year, which is great because that'll help us cover some of the shortfalls we may come up with. Does anybody have any questions on that? You guys are quiet. Wow. Okay, here's a report from Tom Keene. See if I can make that bigger. I asked Tom to send a report for how the status of the Rotary Garden. Okay, and so he sent this in your, and it was in the agenda handout as well. And boy, and Tom, I guess you were there today. Could you give us a real quick update on what it's looking like?
Well, it's really come along. I believe there were 6 Rotarians from the LaPorte Club that came over last week because they're willing. They've showed a willingness to help with this garden. And I don't want to get into naming names because I don't know everybody that's been out there. But I will say that Tom Keene has been out there almost every day now for some time. Mm-hmm. He's really, his efforts are really showing. Today, Tom and I went over to the Chesterton Garden Feed and Seed, I think it's called, or something like that. And we picked up 6 more plants, 3 rhododendrons and 3 azaleas that were ordered. In fact, Tom mentioned that we've spent about, the club has spent about $650 on plants with the Chesterton Garden Place. They were wonderful to work with. I will just say real quickly that we also made attempts to obtain bids from 2 other nurseries, and it was felt that the Chesterton market was our best option. So we got bids from, we did receive a bid from Smalls Nursery. I made 3 phone calls and 1 personal visit to Beachside, and they never responded to me. So I gave up. 3 strikes, you're out. Yeah. But the garden, back to the garden on a positive side, it's really looking good. It'll be exciting to see how this comes along in the spring when more things will be up and blooming. But it's a huge improvement, believe me. So, yeah.
Okay. Next time you guys are out there, make sure you get some pictures so we can put them up on the website. And on,
we'll do that.
Facebook page. Okay. Anybody got any questions about the garden? I understand Tom's gotten some donations too. Is that right?
Yes, I understand that's the case. I don't know the financial side of it, okay. But I know that he has. Yeah.
Good. Let me scroll down here. All right. Did you guys have a chance to read this? And does anybody have any comments on it? This is what they're going to put on a sign in front of the Rotary Garden. So as people come by, this talks about what Rotary is and why there is a Rotary Garden.
This is Caitlin. I read it. I think it sounds great.
Okay, good, Caitlin. Thank you for your input.
Yeah, I read it too. I think it's wonderful.
Okay.
It actually taught me a few things that I didn't know, so it'll be neat to have people walking by that and seeing that.
Yeah, right now, you know, they look at the garden and all they have is our poll from our exchange students that we had.
Yeah,
That's in like 3 different languages, so they don't know how to interpret it. So it's necessary to put something up there. The Rotary symbol will be on that as well. Okay.
I'd like to make a motion.
Anybody else have any comments on it? Tom, was that you?
Yeah, that was me. I'll make a motion to approve this as submitted by Tom Keene.
Okay. Do we have a second?
This is Caitlin. I'll second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay. All right, this gets us to what I call the meat of the meeting right here. Okay. Action plans. All right. You know, I spoke earlier about how our club's in trouble and how we got to get moving forward and how we have to start doing some things. So, you know, we wanted to look over some action plans to see what could be done. Okay. I've got one from fundraising, service projects, public relations. And Tom, I thought you sent me one from membership, but I couldn't find it.
I thought I did. I'll have to go back and Jim, I'll be happy to, I guess, either find it where I sent it to you or summarize some of the emails that have been going back and forth between Adam Vidoni and myself.
Okay.
Since I'm first on the agenda here in that list, you want me to talk about where Adam and I are at?
Sure would.
Okay, well, basically, Adam has gone through the Chamber of Commerce list. He's made a pass through it, so to speak. He believes that he and I need to spend some time sitting down and going over this, and he and I will do that. He's actually been quite helpful. And where we're at is we're going to start to develop I guess I'd call it a script as to what are the benefits of becoming involved with a local Rotary Club. And then specifically about the Michigan City Club and have some talking points, because our goal, Adam's and my goal, is to enlist the support of a handful of existing Rotarians to help us to reach out to the community and try to broaden our base of membership. We're real concerned about, we want to bring in some membership that is from the for-profit sector. When we look through our present list of Rotarians, and then when you compare that to a Chamber of Commerce list or a list from the Michigan City EDC, there are a great many opportunities for us to build our membership. The biggest challenge that we have right now is I just don't think that you're going to we could spend a lot of time trying to get people to join Rotary, and all we have to offer are virtual meetings. And that's not our fault. That's not your fault, Jim. I just think until we can get to a point where we can have a weekly meeting, I think it's going to be real difficult to get somebody excited. You know, there's no substitution for sitting down at a table and having an exchange of conversation amongst those that are at the table. And I guess I would compare it to what our students are going through right now. I'm helping grandchildren 2 days a week with their virtual learning. I will tell you there's no substitution for being in a classroom. But that's an aside. But anyway, so that's kind of where we're at. And Adam and I will continue to work on this, and you'll see something in print very shortly.
on the Early Act Club, if you get a hold of Abby May, and again, not knowing what the school situation is, but she was going to try to establish an Early Act Club in the middle school. Okay. So she would be your contact for that. But again, things are really up in the air right now as far as schooling goes.
Right.
Lance, you got any idea what's going to be going on?
Well, until mid-October, it will be virtual, and thereafter we'll have to see how the positivity rate is, and we'll also have to get a better idea how our teaching staff is in regards to coming back inside the classroom. So, but at this point, we're just virtual.
Okay. Okay, moving down to public relations. Where's my... Lance, you want to talk about that a little bit?
Sure. So, well, the first one was club's online presence accurately reflects its current activities. So I think if you either go to our current website or our Facebook page, you'll see very timely information about all of our programs and speakers and events. So I think we're doing a very good job in regards to that. Just to kind of point out some of the things that we've posted on Facebook just in August is on August 6th, we posted about the new president of Rotary for 2022-2023, which will be the first woman to hold the office in Rotary's 115-year history. So we did thought that was very significant. We've also posted about the health fair and Health Link. And then we've also been posting about some of the previous speakers we've had, where we've had the YouTube post of the meeting. So in case people weren't able to attend those meetings, they can watch them again. So I think we're doing a fairly good job in regards to following that plan of action. And then another goal is to have the website or social media accounts updated 4 times per month, and where I think we're exceeding that. So I don't see that as a major issue for us. And then we're going to have at least 4 media stories that will cover our club projects. And I was also thinking in regards to, in addition to our social media and then print media with the newspaper, we could also try to incorporate something with the radio station, especially Rick Federici. So maybe we can have Jim or someone else from the club talk about Rotary on the radio. I think that would be another nice media presence for us. But some of the media stories that we'll make sure we cover this year is the Rotary Garden. So as soon as we get some more photos, and maybe some photos actually with some of the people that are volunteering, that would be great. And then we'll also make sure we cover the Salvation Army bell ringing, and then the Alinsky Award and the Service Above Self Awards. Those will be the 4 main stories, and I'm sure we'll have other stories that we want to make sure we cover. And then also the last item is just to make sure that we're using Rotary International. They have a brand center on their website. They have all of these materials, including videos and print ads and materials, and they have a lot of very professional things that we can use that we can incorporate within either our website or social media. So I think all of those things are going very well right now. Does anyone have any questions? Okay, Jim.
Jim, I think you're on mute.
All right, can you hear me now?
Yes.
That's better. I was saying, Lance, that was a pretty good plan. And I think we need to make sure you and I get together and make sure the look and feel of our the website and the Facebook page are kind of the same. So the branding goes across both those medias.
Sounds good.
Okay. Is there any questions for Lance on his report, on his actions? Any comments? Okay. Next one is Rotary Foundation and fundraising.
That would be me.
That would be you.
Good. Actually, I sent a late email. Oh, you got it. Excellent.
Yeah.
Well, in this time of COVID, of course, we're not able to do gala or in-personal meeting fundraising events, but I did some research on how to do virtual fundraising and make it fun and reach out into the community. So we have two goals. One is to come up with $300 for a donation to polio remediation, and then the other is $3,000 of an annual contribution to Rotary Foundation. Now, just to clarify, that's National Rotary Foundation, not our club foundation. Am I right?
Yes, it is. And the $3,000 really wasn't intended to be obtained through an event. It was more or less to be obtained through every Rotarian every year contributions from the members.
Oh, okay. Well, then I got ideas for fundraising.
Well, that's fine. No, that's
certainly on the every Rotarian every year. As I started at our meeting the other couple meetings ago, is just a constant drumbeat reminding people to put in that contribution and strive towards becoming a fellow, and that would include me, because I'm not a fellow, but I'd like to be. I'd like to be a jolly good one. Anyway, but there were these other ideas for fundraising that I think are all viable and not particularly difficult or time consuming. So one would be a virtual silent auction, which can be an online collection of items that coming from member donations or from our local vendors. One of the successful items when we did our gala, when we had our gala, the mask ball gala, was everyone donated one bottle of wine, and we had this giant wine basket that then people bid on, which was small donation from everybody, but ended up as a big item. And I thought that was very cool. I think we could have a chef cooked dinner, even a group dinner if we all had an online dinner, and we could get Eric to cooperate in this, have a chef cooked dinner that could be picked up or delivered, and then we have an online dinner together. Then there's the tapping into the skills and the talents of our members and our families, and I think that's going to require a bit of a skill and talent inventory. But of course, Eric's incredible skill as a chef would be an example. I have a son-in-law who actually teaches Dungeons and Dragons online. Jim Scott, of course, we all know of his incredible bicycling, and how cool it would be if we kind of developed a pledge campaign of us to donate, like, hey, how about a quarter a mile for every mile that Jim rides in a week, or in a day, in a week, in a month. I could donate, some of my artistic skill. I could do house sketches or pet sketches. not so good on people. I said the chef cooked dinner. So anyway, where I was going with this, it was the development of some fun, cooperative, collaborative fundraising events that would utilize the talents of our members and raise money for the works we do or for Rotary Foundation. And of course, we'd have to develop a couple little committees to pull this together.
Yeah, I was going to say we as far as an action plan goes, you're going to have to come up with an actual plan about how you would want to get these things implemented.
Right.
And feel free to contact me or anybody on the board if you need any kind of assistance in trying to get this going off.
Yeah. Now, as for the polio, clearly Pastor Carroll is our key to that, and we have this amazing video he did. And I think if we could, certainly through Facebook, we can establish a way of collecting funds. Not a GoFundMe, but there are other ways of collecting funds. I think our Facebook page, our web page, but that video is really, I think, the key because it's so powerful. And even if we developed as I said, a video watch party where people would, have to pay to watch it, and we could again network through our members to create a video watch party of that amazing video that he did. There you go.
Sounds good, Matt. I like it.
Well,
It not only helps us get some money, it also helps get people involved. And
well,
that's what we need. If we're going to keep our membership or improve our membership, we got to get activities that people are going to be doing. Okay.
all right. So I'll reform this in of project proposals that we can put out to our members for people to sign up to help.
That'd be terrific. If you need any assistance with that, let me know. Does anybody have any questions for Matt or any comments about Matt's plans here?
Thank you, Matt. I appreciate that. I think that's a very good vision that you have there, and I think it would go over quite well. And so anyway,
Is
yes.
Pastor Carroll, is there I have to admit, I'm really embarrassed. Specific fundraising year or event related to the polio. What is it now? It's not March of Dimes. It's not Easter. Polio Plus.
There's a World Polio Day in October.
Oh, okay. So we need to like organize around that. That'll be awesome.
Yes, right.
Matt.
Yes, sir.
Could I, along with what you just said, can I interject some things?
Please do.
Before it leaves my mind, and I'm just going to go where you continued off. I didn't have not a chance to get with you, but I did talk to Jim Scott about it, and I wanted to get with you. I just couldn't get to you. I had a vision also, and I know that we're in this pandemic, and I know there are things that we can and cannot do right now. But if we could at least put it on our minds or put it on some kind of agenda, that we understand that we all know that polio is a major threat of a virus even to the world right now. And we're looking at the COVID-19 virus, where millions of people's families that have lost loved ones, and they're survivors, and they're physically and mentally, emotionally, and they even have PTSD. What I have experienced through my post-polio syndrome is PTSD. And I haven't been having a hard time, and I'm not ashamed to say this to the Rotary Club, because I think it's imperative that you know where I'm at. I have flashbacks. I feel in the driveway of this PTSD that flashbacks came back to me that I was still in the iron lung. I smelled the grass. I smelled the weeds, and all of a sudden, all the flashbacks and the smell came back to me. And I was talking with Jim Scott. Also, I was going to get with you, Matt, of course, and to see what you think. And what I was thinking about was when you talked about the bicycle, we had discussed, and we wanted to discuss it with you. And of course, it's going to take a team that's going to be dedicated in this team to do it, because I could only do my only part. And that was that Jim Scott had found a three-wheeler, and I'm sure you heard of that, a tricycle. And
Yeah.
then when we wanted to get something in Washington Park, and we would have bicycles, that Jim would get bicycle riders in back of us, and I would be in the front with my shorts on once again. That would be the second time I had shorts on. And I would be on the tricycle leading for polio, post-polio, and even PTSD and the viruses, the COVID virus that's happening today is a very serious thing. And I was just wondering that if this would be something feasible that we could look at, since Jim can get the and it's going to be an electric tricycle, bicycle. And I would have my braces, and I'd be leading the pack along Washington Park with the park in the back scene of us. And this is for fundraising. This would be a fundraising for Rotary Club and all that they've done for polio and all that we're going to be doing, and for even the virus that's coming up, that the COVID virus that is upon us right now. There is many families that are with PTSD, and they're fighting it, and they've lost their families, and they've through this virus. And I was thinking of people who, like Matt, and maybe Jim, Lance Warner, people who are a lot more intelligent about bringing these stories together and bringing it together for it to be reality, so that we can be out there at Washington Park, maybe going from Washington Park all the way around, and then back again.
Dennis,
Yeah,
I think it's a great idea. And I think it's really part of the committee you're on, the Rotary Foundation Fundraising Committee. And you and Matt should just get together and start planning this out. I think it's a good idea. What do you think, Matt?
Good idea. Let's do that.
Thank you. That's I didn't mean to take up so much time.
No, that's all right.
I really didn't mean to interject on you either, Matt.
No, it's good. You're absolutely right. We didn't have a chance to get together, and you and you've got Jim involved. Let's do this. We already have a committee.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Matt. I appreciate it.
Well, I appreciate you too. Thank
you.
Any other comments or questions for Matt?
The only other thing I wanted to mention is I do think it'd be nice to have a speaker, and it could be virtual, that would talk on PTSD. I think that there's a lot of people that are going through that, and I think that that would be a very compelling topic, especially at this time.
Very good.
I'll try to find someone.
Be great. Let Jessica know. She's the one who's putting the speakers together. So great idea. Anybody else? Okay, that moves us into service projects. And I have something from Jen Lee. Jen Lee, do you and Caitlin want to discuss this with us?
Sure. This is Jenny Lee. So what we were thinking was to develop and distribute a survey to see what the members want to be a part of. And then Caitlin and I can discuss, the survey results and kind of see what we think might be best options, and then engage in those partners, and see how we can get, assist those organizations with our service projects. So that's kind of where we're at. So we'll probably over the next week or two be working on a survey to get out to the members.
Okay. If you need any help with the distribution or the ways of actually distributing the survey, we can set up an online form once you have your survey put together.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. That was the plan.
Okay, great. Any questions for Jen Lee or Caitlin? Okay, under administration, Kara and Jessica were supposed to be here. Jessica tried to get on, I guess, and I figured out that after 15 minutes, the software locks our meeting and I have to let people in. I didn't realize that. So some of you got stuck in a waiting room. Fortunately, I was able to open it up. Yeah, you're one of them, I know. You and Deb and Jessica and we're all stuck in that waiting room. So I will make sure that doesn't happen again. I'll modify the software here a little bit. So we'll have to wait till next meeting to get that one from Kara and Jessica, I think. Okay. Let me say that I feel a lot better about where we're going now that I've seen these action plans, now that I've seen these ideas of what you guys want to start doing, because it got very quiet out there and it was like nobody was doing anything and I was getting real worried because we're in trouble, as I said before, and we need to get that taken care of. Okay, under new business, we got a district grant for $1,200 for the Rotary year of 2021. The grant is to be used for COVID-19 problems. Okay. I talked a little bit with Franciscan, Deb Tatum at Franciscan, and they've got some things they could use, but what has to happen here is they're going to give us $1,200, but we have to come up with 25% of another part. So if it's a $1,200, it would be a $1,600 project. We would give 4, they would give 3, or they would give 12. Okay. I've been working with Deb Tatum to see whether she can get the 4 and give it to the club that we can turn around and give her a $16 donation back. She's working with me on that. I'm not sure where that's going yet, but that's only one option. If you guys know of anything else where we might be able to help somebody else with COVID-19 ideas, anything at all. I mean, if we want to make sure that, we support our small businesses in some way, or whether we want to, provide supplies for people, it's anything we can do to utilize those funds to help with the COVID problem. Jennifer, I don't know whether HealthLink needs anything or anything like that could be going on.
Yeah, I was going to chime in. I'll always accept help with the COVID-19, whether it's with supplies. Basically, that's our biggest need with COVID-19 is keeping up with the PPE. We are doing the rapid tests. We're getting those right now from the state. So it doesn't have to go to the actual test, but for PPE equipment for the clinical staff that's out doing the testing, we could use it for too. I don't want to step on anything that's already been in the works though, but if it comes down to wondering what we can, who we can help, by all means, HealthLink is in need.
Deb, did you have any comments on that? I saw.
Yeah, I was just going to throw out another idea. I like the Franciscan and the HealthLink ideas and the health related ideas very much. So just if we need another idea, Lance probably knows more about this than me, but Boys and Girls Club have expanded their club and their club hours for kids who don't have a place to go for e-learning to actually be there during the day doing their e-learning. And I think that's a significant need probably to help support that as well. Lance, do you have any thoughts on that?
I think that'd be a good idea. I mean, they are helping provide like what we call a learning center. So they probably have some needs. There might be also some things that could be provided to the students to help them. So
I do think Boys and Girls Club also has decent fundraising capacity. Michelle Shirk is a kind of a master at that, I think. So if we need someone who can help us come up with the 400, that might be a group that would have the capacity. Again, I would pursue Franciscan and HealthLink first. That was just another idea.
Okay, these are great ideas. Don't lose them. Go ahead and document them and send them to me, and we can stack them up. So if one doesn't work out, we can go to the next until we get it. Be able to utilize these funds. I mean, we have them available to us. Let's make sure we put them to use.
I can get something together for you on HealthLink's behalf, Jim.
Say that again. I'm sorry.
I can get something together on HealthLink's behalf.
Okay, that'd be great. Okay, I was approached by Ivy Tech, and we from the LaPorte Club, Lee Morris from the LaPorte Club, to talk about the possibility of helping them out with a program that they call Student Success Scholarships. If you look here, it says that Student Success courses teach necessary skills to be successful in both academic and professional careers, okay? And what they wanted to do was come up with the first 200 degree-seeking students who enroll early with 3 or more credit hours in Valparaiso or Michigan City will receive a 4-day Ivy Tech Student Success Scholarship, okay, for free. LaPorte Club came up with $500. Valparaiso Club actually came up with $1,500. And so I approached our foundation and looked at our funds that we had set aside for RILA that we didn't use and talked them into taking $500 of that and donating it to this project as well. So they're cutting a check for Ivy Tech for $500 so that we'll now have the Rotary Clubs of LaPorte, Michigan City, and Valparaiso all supporting the program.
Cool.
Go ahead.
I think that's neat. This is Deb. I think that's neat.
Okay. Okay, any other comments on that?
That's good.
Okay, the other thing is, if you remember, let me see if I can bring this up. Hold on a second. All right, I'll stop sharing that. I'm going to share something here. Okay, this is my president's message from this last issue of the newsletter as well as the website. Okay, you'll see that I talked here about a comment about doing professional development. Okay, in order to do professional and relevant fulfilling, and basically the LaPorte clubs have taken this on as well, and they're providing a learning from a leader series, okay, which begins on Monday. And their instructions and registering and stuff was in the newsletter and on the website for you when we get there. If you can do it, I think it'd be really interesting. They're going to have Milo, the ex mayor of LaPorte, who's now working in the state. She was also a distinguished citizen, delegate or the honoree by the Boy Scouts for her work that she's doing. And so it's a good idea if you want to learn from somebody. And this is she's not going to come there and present. She's going to come there and discuss with you what are the best ways in order to do this stuff. In addition to that, okay, I talked about the Toastmasters, and there are now 6 online courses from Toastmasters available in the Learning Center, okay? And I know that Susie Vance and Jessica were working with our local Toastmasters Club to see if we can set up a partnership in order to do more development between Toastmasters and Rotary. And I know that's a national effort as well. Do you have any questions on that? Are all of you aware of Toastmasters and what they do?
Yes.
Do you think it's a good idea? Do you think people would be interested in with a partnership with Toastmasters to build your skills?
Yeah, I think it's a great idea.
Yes.
What does the club need to do to participate?
What does our club do?
Yeah, do we have to do anything to establish the partnership, or is that already?
Well, there's a partnership between Rotary International and Toastmasters International, but to do it locally, we're trying to build a partnership with our local club. And I know Susie and Jessica are working on doing that. One of the things that would happen is they would come and talk to us about how to be a better speaker and how being a speaker helps your career. And then they would have their members come and be speakers for us to show us what they've learned and what they can talk about. So that's kind of my idea what the partnership would be like. Anything else?
Okay. No.
Okay. One thing that I want to talk about was I had one of our best members, or one of our longstanding members, who's the past president of the club, who has been working with the scholarship committee for years and ran it for a few years, who has turned in her resignation to Rotary because she did a lot of work on putting the scholarship program together this year, and basically we didn't follow up with any kind of a follow through. I don't think we ever even met. We only had one short statement about who won it. We never had anything published about who won the scholarships. We never brought them to a meeting or had them come to one of our virtual meetings to talk about being the winner of the scholarships and honor them in one of our locations like we usually do. And so she was very frustrated over that, and said, why be a member of Rotary if you can't, if you don't follow through on what you're doing? So I just wanted to let you know that, okay? In case you hear anything from anybody about it. And I think maybe we should still have a way to go back and publish who won these scholarships and get them into one of our meetings.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I mean, you guys think that that's still a good idea?
Oh,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yes.
Okay.
When were the scholarships awarded?
3
months ago?
Well, when were they ordered? Gags.
Isn't it? I mean, I'm sorry. I'm sorry the individual is frustrated, but it's not like the world hasn't been turned upside down.
Yeah, right.
And I still think it's valid to celebrate the fact that we gave these scholarships and celebrate these students. So,
Yeah.
It's been difficult to. I'm sorry. I'm apologizing for all of us, but it's been difficult to even organize our meetings when we're not meeting in person. To have a guest, all of that. So I'm just sorry that an individual is upset. Certainly we can make an effort, since it's been pointed out, to celebrate our success and celebrate these students and promote Rotary. And Lance has laid out a great PR campaign. So let's go for it.
Okay.
This is Deb. I concur with Matt on all points that he made, and especially that as sad as it is to feel overlooked, this was certainly a time when a lot was happening and people were doing their best. I would say that, a press release and celebration and that type of thing is great. It might be challenging to get the students at a meeting even virtually, because, you know, the kids are all going off to school now and having their own challenges as they face their semesters. But certainly inviting them, I think, would be great.
Yeah, we could invite them to for lunch.
Yeah.
So who would have the
Anything else?
information about who are the scholarship recipients and everything? Is that Marty or?
Well, it would have been Marty. The next item on the agenda was a board member resignation, and Marty has resigned from the board right now. And he's actually resigned from Rotary due to all the work and all the various things he has to do. He just doesn't have time to give to the board or give to the club that he needs to do in order to be a valuable asset. You know what I mean? And he feels it too. Okay.
Yeah, I think he was promoted to detective too. So.
Correct.
Yeah. Can we is there a way to rather than accept the resignation that we be granted a leave of absence? I mean, has that happened?
He was pretty adamant he didn't want that. He just wants to go.
You want me to reach out to Chief Campbell to see if there's another representative from the police department? I do think it was very good to have.
Yeah, yes, that's a good idea. Even in his resignation letter that he sent to me, he copied Chief Campbell on it and asked the chief to appoint another person.
Oh, good. Okay, so he's looking at it already. Good.
Right.
Well, is there a way that we can, officially as a club, celebrate his service to us? Because Marty was a valuable member and served as president, and I think we understand why he would be stepping aside, but I think it's worthy of providing some recognition.
Yeah, I'll work on coming up with something.
Some kind of thank you.
Sure.
Okay,
Back
thanks.
to the scholarship recipients, though. How do we know who they are or contact them?
I would probably check with KP because the scholarship is actually presented by the foundation, so they should have all the paperwork.
Okay.
Do you want me to do that?
That's fine.
Okay.
Jim, this is Tom Cypers. I'm not sure you mentioned this, but that was Kelly Shikani that is resigning from the club.
That's correct.
Yeah.
I think we were trying to avoid that.
I mean, I didn't try to avoid it. I faced it head on, and I contacted Kelly when I found out about this, and it was an email exchange back and forth, very positive. The main point I wanted to make to her, and I think she understood it, was that in a non-COVID environment, I personally don't believe this would have happened, because having been a member of Rotary for a few years now, the scholarship recipients have always been invited to a meeting. And now I will say in that regard that last year's scholarship recipients were upstairs at the downtown in Michigan City, and we had more individuals that were either recipients and their family members than we had Rotarians.
Correct.
So that was pretty sad, but that's a whole nother topic. But anyway, I did share with Kelly that I would hope that once our world returned to normal, that she would reconsider and come back into our club, because she's been a good Rotarian for many years, and hopefully she'll come back. So
that's right.
Yeah, I pretty much had the same kind of conversation with her, Tom. So that's good.
Yeah.
Jim, you had indicated there were two other members that had resigned.
Yeah, it was Kelly, Marty, and then Ed Hughley. And Ed is because he's in between jobs right now. And it's the same kind of thing. Tom, you want to talk to him a little bit about what you talked to Ed about?
Yeah, I actually had a telephone conversation with him, and he has no issues with Rotary. He loves Rotary. When the COVID hit, he lost his job with the geothermal company he was working for because no one wants other people to come into their home, and so he is between jobs, and his goal right now is just to meet his monthly expenses, and he really can't justify the dues for a club such as Rotary. So he definitely feels that he'll be back into Rotary at some point. So
Okay.
that's all.
Okay, anything else? All right, again, I want to thank all of you for your participation in all the fine things that you talked about getting done. I'm going to hold you to all your action plans to make sure they do get done. And so thanks again. And it is 1:05, so the meeting is adjourned.
Well, we won't be bored.
Good. I don't want you to be bored.
I'm sorry. Before I got on, did you talk about?
Oh, no, thank you very much. I wanted to go through and think a couple of things. One, what did you guys think of it? And two, how successful were you at getting into people? So Lance, let me get to you. Were you able to call anybody?
No, but I still don't think I'm getting your emails because I never saw an email like that. So I would say, Jim, if you can start sending me my emails to my work, because for whatever reason that Hotmail is not working. I get
Okay.
the mass emails, but I apparently don't get your direct emails.
Okay, I will make sure I do that.
Yeah.
And I will forward you the one because it has a list of who you should call.
Perfect.
Let me chime in real quick.
Sure.
We're doing this at Trinity as well, where those of us that are in leadership are periodically calling members, and I think it's essential because not everyone is tuning into this electronic connection, and having another member call and say, "How you doing? Can we do anything for you? We sure like you to come. We understand if you're not comfortable. Know that we maintain our ethic of service before self." I just think it's a good thing to do.
Okay, that was my idea too. I think the more that we can actually get out and talk to people and touch with people, the better off we're going to be. It takes more than an email.
Absolutely.
Hey, any other comments? Okay, again, thank you for all coming, and I'll let you go now. Up here, we're going to.
Out of here. Thank you, Jim.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Jim. Bye now.